Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 America's Got Talent scandals. Number 10. Marathon Productions gets sued due to Tyra Banks' alleged conduct. In 2017, a couple auditioned with a song for their daughter, identified as Mary Doe in the lawsuit, who was backstage. AGT host Tyra Banks was accused for apparently, quote, physically manipulating and verbally harassing the minor.
According to the lawsuit, Banks shook her shoulder and pulled her hair back, then later insinuated that the girl was accidentally conceived.
They further claimed that the host mocked the performance in front of their kid and said some pretty rude things, all while cameras were apparently rolling. The whole thing was apparently dismissed a few days later. Number 9. The Sacred Rihanna's act ends without explanation. During what would become her final act on the show, bizarre illusionist The Sacred Rihanna ended her haunting number with a scream. Audiences were left utterly baffled, and many demanded answers. According to an AGT spokesperson, it was a planned part of her act, but given several other technical difficulties that night, the confusion was understandable. Still, the choice seemingly hurt Rihanna's chances, and she was eliminated. Number 8. A makeup artist falls through the floor. While working as a makeup artist on the show, Jude Alcala sustained injuries after reportedly falling 6 feet through a gap in the stage floor. He reportedly sued NBC, Psycho Entertainment, and Fremantle Media, citing that they'd failed to put up any warnings. The accident resulted in a broken femur and extensive shoulder damage. Sharon Osbourne blasted the show for ignoring his claims and not taking responsibility for the accident.
Some guy designed a stage set with a hole in the middle. You know, somebody has to pay the price.
However, we didn't hear much about the case after that. Number 7. Cas Haley spills the backstage tea. Cas Haley cut ties with AGT entirely after his appearance. He talked about one incident he recalled in particular involved producers allegedly taking advantage of a contestant he claims was roughly 8 years old. He claims they got a room full of people to applaud her as she walked in, as if she'd advanced to the next round when she actually didn't. It seemed like a setup to capture her reaction.
I realized that really quickly when I was on the show, that this is really not my thing.
Number 6. NBC Universal, Marathon Productions, and Fremantle Media are sued over fatal accident. In 2017, 79-year-old Moren Allen arrived to volunteer at an on-site convention. However, the AGT taping equipment that was in the same place made the area inaccessible. This led to her wheelchair getting flipped and her being thrown to the ground.
She ended up breaking her hip and suffering blood clots.
Allen suffered several severe injuries and was hospitalized. She then had a stroke and, after multiple surgeries, was put on life support before sadly passing away a few months later. Her family blamed her untimely death on the incident and took Marathon Productions, NBC Universal, Fremantle Media, and the city of Pasadena to court. Number 5. Tim Poe is accused of lying. Singer Tim Poe garnered sympathy in the 7th season with a story about how an injury he sustained in the army left him with a stutter. However, his tale was refuted by a spokesperson for the National Guard who said there was no evidence of the incident he described.
And the National Guard confirmed that Sergeant Poe's military records did not show he was injured by a grenade in Afghanistan, where he served for just 1 month.
Eventually, the singer apologized for misleading the public, although he claims it wasn't intentional. Number 4. Nick Cannon's exit. Nick Cannon parted ways with America's Got Talent. In a Facebook post, he explained that the decision came after NBC threatened to fire him over some jokes he told during his Showtime stand-up special. Apparently, they weren't happy with some of the racially charged humor he shared, claiming that it, quote, disparaged their brand.
When people start to put restraints on my creativity as an artist, I just have to stand on my square and stand for something.
Cannon expressed that he walked away because he refused to be censored and that his moral compass was more important than any amount of money. Number 3. Marcelito Pomoy is robbed of the golden buzzer. This previous Pilipinas Got Talent winner appeared in season 2 of the US Champions version in a bid to hold on to his crown.
I pray you'll be alright.
He was a fan favorite, so audiences were shocked when Howie Mandel opted not to push the golden buzzer. In the end, Pomoy finished in a very respectable 4th place, but that didn't change the fact that a large number of viewers remained upset about the golden buzzer debacle. Number 2, Jonathan Goodwin's act goes disastrously wrong.
In all the stunts in my book, this is the one my mum didn't want me to try.
Escapologist Jonathan Goodwin had stunned and amazed audiences on both Britain's Got Talent and the American branch of the show, but things went horribly wrong, as his trick ended in disaster during rehearsals. He was meant to free himself from a straitjacket while suspended high off the ground upside down with 2 vehicles flanking him, but he was gravely hurt when the cars crashed into each other and him. He survived, but was left paralyzed from the waist down. Production was understandably halted for a time as a result. Number 1. Gabrielle Union's departure. Union appeared on just 1 season of the talent competition show before her contract was terminated. She filed a complaint and spoke out about the show's toxic culture.
She was given a specific note many times throughout season 14 of America's Got Talent that her hair was too black, and that's a direct quote from multiple sources.
She talked about dealing with relentless criticism over her appearance and hair, Simon Cowell's indoor smoking, and racism from guest host Jay Leno. Union is hardly the only person to call out the show's problematic behind-the-scenes behavior. Eventually, the matter was settled, with the actress and NBC releasing a joint statement.